the guy that's a little bit early, premature.
Yeah,
I'd rather be a little bit premature.
Exactly.
Sure.
I would literally be mad at myself for not being on time. Doesn't matter for what it is. It could be to church, could be anything.
Mate, it could be the smallest thing or the biggest thing. The rules still apply.
Yeah.
You know, punctuality is king.
Are you the same when you train in the gym? Do you train at the same? Do you start at the exact same time? I used to be like that.
I did. Now, it's funny because the longer I've been going, the more I like to let my food digest and take a little bit longer. So it really just depends on that now. Whereas I was before, I was like, oh yeah, we've got to be there 12 o'clock sharp.
Yeah.
If I start 5 minutes past, I'm going to be really angry. Like, let's start. I'm a bit more relaxed.
I was always on time. And even if I had a training partner, if he was 1 minute late, you would not train with me today.
That's the worst one, Dennis. That's the one that actually does get me really riled up. Because that minute feels like forever, and I'm looking at I'm checking my phone. I'm like, I've already had my pre-workout drink. Where is he? I'm just saying.
Exactly. But how you been, man? I mean, I see a lot of stuff, man. You be posting some crazy training footages. You know, it looks like you on a serious mission. For one, at one point, it almost looked like you were kind of backing off. You know, it felt like, you know, is he gonna compete again? You know, it kind of it felt like I'm not saying you felt like you gave up, but it felt like you know, I don't know. It just looked like you had. I don't know. You explained.
Do you know what it is? I think it's like it's a healing period, isn't it? Like for me, the Olympia was an injury.
Got you.
And all injuries take time to heal, and so therefore, how do you heal an injury? You have to pull back. You have to let it recover. And I think from a mental and from a physical standpoint, I had to give my body a bit of a break from all the madness that I do. Like, because obviously I like to train hard, but I kind of pushed myself to my limits with that, and I needed to have a bit of time on the opposite side so that I get hungry for that again. Because being away from it has made me now love being back there. So yeah.
How bad of an injury was it though?
A bad one for me, because I know on a personal level I was really, really disappointed, because I know because now we've spoke since me and Patrick, we know I had an inkling of something not being right quite a few weeks before the Olympia, but what had worked before we thought might work again, and I didn't really want to say much because, you know, it's a two-way relationship, and I didn't understand the importance of my feedback as much as I should have. Like, Patrick's all for me saying this is how I feel, this is what I think, but I was a little bit reluctant to be that guy because I want to just follow the process. Because I'm all in, I'm willing. You know, if someone tells me this is the plan, I'll go for it. But what we have realized is now, you know, your own instinct and your own understanding of your own body is just as valuable to share as well. So it was a big injury. It was a big injury, man. It felt like someone had kicked me straight in the balls, I tell you.
Yeah. Did you ever thought about stopping?
No.
So it didn't go that far.
No. I get out of there and I'm like, okay, I know I'm better than this. It's going to take a while. Let's put into place, you know, a period of time where I can focus on some of the things in life that maybe need to be put back into good order. And then once that's all in place, let's aim again. It's been there so many times before then. It's like even as an amateur coming up, and, you know, when I was trying to turn professional, even in that, like I had some wins and then I had some losses, bounce back. So I'm all for the bounce back mentality. I don't mind that. It's just at the minute of it happening, it's quite a lot to take on the shoulders, and sometimes you feel like you've just got to take a little bit of a step back from how you are. So
did you go right back to the gym, or did you take some time off?
I was back in the gym, but I was not working to a capacity. I was literally purposely telling myself, you know, 70%. Like, really don't kill yourself.
Yeah. How much did it bother you then to read some of the comments from people, you know, maybe especially your people back in England, where they had a lot of hope for you coming into the show and doing some real damage, and then, you know, you ending up placing where you placed. Did you just stay away from Instagram or stay away from social media?
No, I still wanted to look, because I also wanted to validate people's opinion, because they were right. Like I got it. Like, I was wrong at the show. It wasn't right, and it wasn't a good physique. So I'm happy to accept that. But I also like to be present on the social media and actually give my points across as well. And there wasn't much I could say, because at the end of the day, the mistakes are in my own. You know, the ball was in my court. But I like to come on there and say, look, for the ones that do believe in me and know this is just a trip in the road, I'll be back. It won't take long, and I will be back, and I promise you that. So it's more just to get on there and talk to the people who are genuine. Like, I use social media as a way to stay in touch with the people that I do love, rather than the ones that don't love me. So I don't know. I just have my focus on the people that are more uplifting, and even the uplifting people. When I say uplifting, it doesn't even have to be like they have to be blowing smoke up your ass and telling you you're incredible. I like to be told when something went wrong as well. Right. I think that criticism is just as important in bodybuilding, and I'm always happy to take notes from people, especially with a good eye, and then work from that.
Yeah. Whatever you're doing right now, it seems to be working very well for you. Because how heavy are you right now?
I'm only about like 296 at a minute. I
only about 296.
Listen, I'm 5'11". I feel like it's not enough. But,
but the condition that you are in, man, you look like you pre-contest.
Yeah, I feel like.
So you're 296.
Yeah,
would be for others a real off-season weight of like 310, 315.
Yeah, I think because my 310 that was earlier in the year was what most off seasons would look like. I was kind of felt very distended, felt very heavy. Didn't really sleep too well. So that's why I decided actually to pull back a little bit to this weight, because I thought if I can float around here, you can still make a lot of progress with the amount of food that I'm ingesting at the minute, and as long as I hold it for a period of time. Because in the past, my biggest mistake, Dennis, is that I get to a weight and then I don't really stay there for very long. So I don't really materialize the muscle that I could have, if that makes sense to you.
Do you eat a lot? Because you look like you eat a lot.
I don't feel like I do now. I've pulled my food back to 5 solid meals a day, and then I have like I supplement quite a lot of carbohydrates around training. So I probably have about 100 grams of carbohydrates around training plus 5 meals. I probably have about 650 grams of carbs a day.
So you just do 5 meals a day?
Yeah, that's the only thing I changed from when I was 310 pounds to this weight now. I took 1 meal out. I literally just was like, let's take 1 meal off, give my stomach a bit of a rest, and see how we respond. And literally all it's done is tightened me up a little bit, and I'm still performing the same in the gym. So I'm very happy with sitting with 5 meals for the minute.
Yeah, because I mean, I look at the videos you post, super strong, super fucking strong too. So when you look at yourself now, the condition that you're in at 396, which is fucking crazy, just my opinion. Where are you? If you want to jump into a show, what do you think? How long would you need to get in contest shape?
Honestly, it's really hard because I don't know. Like, I feel like my head says I could be ready in like 8 to 10 weeks, like at a slow pace. But we're still choosing to give me a bit longer, so I don't know. I haven't really had that discussion I haven't really had this discussion with Patrick. How long does he think it would take me to get in shape? More so, how long are we going to take? You know what I mean?
Have you decided on a show yet?
Yeah, before this, I applied for the UK Arnold, but I know that's all up in the air at the minute.
I heard.
Yeah, so that's the show time I'm looking for, September kind of date.
Okay, but if it's not, I think I've heard. I don't know if it's true or not. If I heard it might not just be the Arnold, but there still will be a show.
I think it'll just be if it's not going to be Arnold, it's probably just going to be another UK
qualifier
show again. There is a show a week earlier in I think it's in Italy. I think there's like a Yamamoto Cup. So I wouldn't mind doing that because obviously, again, if you think about that logistically, it's not far. So it'd be great for me to get to that. So September time, really. But I did look at, I think Tampa was like in
August.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, I could be ready for that. But that hasn't even tickled his fancy yet. So
I think it would help you to also come to the States and compete here. You would have been great match for the New York Pro. I mean, that's a show where you need to be in at least at least one of the years.
Yeah, I did do New York once in 2019, my second year as a pro.
I know, but
I need it now.
Yeah, James Hollingshead wasn't as known as he is right now, and I think with the size that you have, New York would love you.
Yeah, I've noticed like with the New York show, they like the guys being quite nice and big. Yeah. You know, like I remember when Nathan won, and the year that I did it, Morrell won, and they were all kind of at their biggest. It's a very much a muscular show. You know?
Always, it's always been this way. Yeah, the freaks, even if you don't win, they love the freaks.
Yeah,
the crowd.
I like that. It's bodybuilding. At the end of the day, it's bodybuilding, and if you've got muscle, then you should be rewarded to a certain extent, you know.
Do you remember how much you weigh at the Olympia last year?
It's like 263, 264.
What's the goal? What's the goal for this year?
Dennis, I think I could be in shape at 275, 280.
Yeah, I don't see why not, looking at you right now.
But I just need to get there, and I don't know. I need to somehow get the fat off and stay at that way.
Yeah.
So this year's about trying to do that, because I honestly feel like that's at my height, 5'11". I look at the previous people like Dennis, Dennis Wolf. Like, I look at what they must have weighed to be on stage, and I do look at that as a target because they were doing well in bodybuilding. And you can only really look at what's around you and your genetic similarities to certain individuals and how much did they weigh at that weight. I know that it's not all about body weight, but you get a rough idea of how much muscle does someone need on their frame to be competitive as an open pro. So, if I could land at like 280, I'd be happy. I know I can do it. I just got to do it.
280 is heavy. 280 is heavy.
But like I say, I'm 296 now, and I feel I could go for a job right now.
I know. I think it's doable for you. But what I'm saying is, this is how the sport has progressed when it comes to weight, how big these guys are and how heavy they are on stage now. Because I remember when I go 25 years back, the average body weight was like maybe 235, 240.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now we're talking 280, 275, which is,
Well, you think like even when Dorian first kind of shocked people with his weight, he's still only in the 250s.
257.
Yep, and they were like, what the heck's this? So
changed the game.
Yep.
He changed the game.
And he was 5'10", 5'11". So yeah, people were coming in 20 pounds, plus heavier now at that kind of structure. So it's madness.
Yeah,
it's incredible, really.
But when you look at Dorian back in what was it? Year was it? It was 93. 93 Olympia when he came in at 257. I think he could have came in at 10 pounds heavier. It still would be one of the most conditioned guys on that stage. Yeah,
I think he said that himself, didn't he? Also, he said he did tend to like overdo it a little bit because he just wanted to be sure.
Yeah. I asked him. I remember when I asked him a couple of years later. I said, "How did you put on so much weight from 92 to 93?" He said he didn't think he put on any weight. It's just that he didn't lose it. Like the year before, he wanted to be super safe, and he wanted to super shredded against Lee Haney, and he said he sacrificed some kind of some weight in order to get that condition.
Yeah, and that happens. It happens a lot. I think that's, saying that's something that I've fallen victim to. Like, there's only so much condition you can get, and when you actually get even less body fat than you try to get less body fat, there's only one thing you start eating into, and that's your muscle and how full you look and how healthy you look. You go beyond that point, you actually look flat and soft. So, that's a learning point from last year to me. Is one thing I've really got to try and avoid this year is over dieting. Because when you try to bring it back, let's say you get ready for the show, you're looking like this, you're looking very slim, then you try to compensate with food, but there's not enough time. It won't do anything. You end up just eating, blood sugar going through the roof. You end up actually just looking terrible. You look soft and small, which is like the worst of the both. So the plan's try and avoid that happening again. I don't want that ever to happen again. Can't say it won't, but I'm pretty sure I think we've got more of a grip on how to approach things now.
Yeah. So when you train now, when you go through your workouts, are you focusing on any particular body parts, anything you want to change? Have you improved?
People always ask how I got here. I was willing to work just a little harder than everyone else. Every damn day. If I can have hundreds of hours back, I'm gonna grab them. Spending hours prepping chicken, rice, and vegetables, F that. I rely on perfect nutrition. I rely on trifecta.
I'm trying. Like genetically, I'd say, arms and shoulders have never been my go-to. I could never walk around in a tank like you used to. God. But, I'm giving them the attention, and I think I'm a smart trainer. I think I have good muscle connection with every body part. I think I managed to connect well. I think it's just a case of time now. So time being committed, eating how I eat, training how I train, supplementing how I supplement. I can't rush anything else. I can't make it happen any faster than it's already happening. But I'm hoping that since the Olympia to now, I've been able to at least take myself to a step, beyond what last year presented. And then we'll see. I feel confident I have, but it's, it's like some days are good days, some days are bad days.
Yeah. Do you think ahead when it comes to what you're going to do? Let's say now we're in 2022. Do you already have a plan for next year?
No, I don't actually. No, I'm very much like next show, but I do want to try and be a little bit less like that. I think the way that you think, like I want to be a little bit more planny, if that's the word, because sometimes I get so fixated on something so near that the pressure is almost a little bit too much. I think if I kind of spread my goals a little bit more, I would feel a little bit less of that tension and maybe actually just feel better in the process, because I can get a little bit too heavy on when my sight is set on something. Don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. Some may say it's good, some may say it's bad. I don't know.
Yeah, I was thinking especially because of this year, the Olympia is in December, which, happened 2 years ago, but it's going to be again in December this year, which is, what will be 11 weeks out from the Arnold next year.
I would love to do an Arnold. I'd love to do the Arnold USA.
You need to be on that stage.
I want to. Yeah. I wanted to do it like I kid you not, last year, because I was in Dubai when it happened last year.
Yeah.
I couldn't leave to go to America any sooner than I could because I had to be there for 2 weeks. And I was just like, Pat, man, I would so love to get on that bloody stage. Yeah. Like, I felt confident about 4 weeks out from the Olympia. I felt like I still looked pretty good. And I was like, get me on that Arnold stage. Like, I want to go there. I want to do that. And I couldn't go.
Yeah. So
that's
why I'm asking you if you think ahead, because you should, like right now, you and Patrick should be like, listen, the Arnold, the Olympia is in December. We can just hang in there for 11 more weeks. We'll get you on the Arnold stage.
I'll definitely apply, put it that way. The application will be put in.
You will definitely get an invite. I mean, I'm sure you would. Because
I love the show. I've seen the show in the flesh, 2020. I know it wasn't quite the same because of restrictions, but still, the stage, what the show represents, the previous champions. It's a massive, massive part of bodybuilding, and I'd love to grace that stage if possible.
Yeah,
for sure.
Who stands out for you in the open roster right now?
Samson. I think Samson's very much coming into his own. Yeah,
unbelievable
I think he's
physique. Yeah.
I just saw him guest posing the other day in Spain, I think, and he looks incredible. He's like 300 pounds, but with abs, and I'm like,
crazy.
But what is he doing?
I was like, where did he come from? Because even all the shows he did last year, that's where he, I first noticed him. And super nice guy too. I mean, the guy is awesome. Really, really good head on his shoulder. And he got a physique. He's got the height. He's got everything. He's really, really dangerous.
He's extremely dangerous. Like, I feel like if he brings up everything to par, then that's a possible Mr. Olympia for sure. Yeah, for sure.
I think you're right. Right.
I said it a few years ago because
really?
I've been competing with Samson since we were amateurs. I beat Samson to win my pro card by 1 point or 2 points.
Oh, so you guys go back.
We go back. So we're really good pals because we've been like, he's beat me at pro shows. I've beat him at pro shows. Like, we're kind of back and forth. And now he's just done really well and got fourth at the Arnold. I'm kind of like, oh crap. He's gone into another dimension now of how good he is. But yeah, I've got a lot of respect for Samson, and we go back quite a long time. 2016, I think we started kind of knowing each other properly. But yeah, he's exceptional, and if he keeps going on the trajectory he's going, then there's going to be many, many wins under his belt for sure.
Does that put pressure on you?
Yeah, oh man, me and him are like that's my like Rocky and Apollo, like that's what we are. Like, I can't, every time he levels up, I'm like, oh, I've got to level up. But he says the same. Like, you catch him. I remember like doing the European Pro in 2020, and after he came over after I won, and we did like a little interview, and he's like, "Oh, this guy, man, he makes me work so hard. Now I've got to work hard again." But it's the same relationship with me with him. I see him do well. I'm back in the dungeon. I'm working my arse off because, he's come from a hard background. He hasn't had nothing gifted to him. I've got no excuses, so I better keep working hard as well. And I hope to battle with him for the next few years in bodybuilding because who better to battle with than someone you actually like and find to be super impressive and a great audience favorite, because he's got his fans, man. He's blowing up.
But I think that's good to have this, this rivalry. You could say it, in a good way, because it keeps you guys motivated and keeps you guys on top of your game. And,
Absolutely. If you didn't have that, there'd be a lack of reason. And it's like anything in life with a lack of reason is hard to be at your best, because motivation is limited. Self-motivation is great, yeah, of course. But when you have an external kind of pressure on yourself, it's a second little bump that gives you more reason. And I think reason is the most important thing in bodybuilding.
Yeah. So we got a couple of good guys coming out of England now. We got you, we got Samson.
Mark Hector's another good one.
Mark Hector.
Have a look at Mark Hector. Now he's like oh God, the genetics on that guy.
How come I never heard of his name?
Well, you would do now.
Mark, if you hear this is, I'm just honest. I have not heard of you. I'm not saying, I don't want to disrespect anybody.
Mark is incredible.
Is it Mark with a K or C?
I'll actually check. I think it might be a C, but Hector? You never know with this. Yeah, I have got him, so I'll give you a little. Yeah, Mark _ Hector.
Images from Mark Hector. Let me look at him.
Yeah. He's got small waist, wide shoulders.
He looks like, it almost looked like Aaron Baker.
Oh yeah.
This dude is swole.
Yeah, man, he's dangerous.
I've never even heard of him, Mark. I apologize. From now on, I know who you are.
Yeah, keep an eye on him, Jay.
And he's pro.
Yes, he turned pro in, I think, 2018, year after me.
Wow.
Very good.
Oh, now I remember this guy. He's been on Fuad's podcast.
I think he might have come on once. Yeah, he might have come on.
Yeah, I think that's where I saw, but I didn't know who he was then. See, but
yeah.
Wow, he looks impressive. Really impressive.
Very, very. And
so he's
one of them guys.
We got Mark, you, Samson, Nathan.
Yeah, and I think I even think Sasan might be making a comeback. Sasan. Do you know Sasan?
No.
Okay, so Sasan got second to Nathan in the Cali Pro 2018. And he hasn't competed since, but he's Persian. Incredible genetics.
Yeah.
Much better than mine.
Yeah, the Persian's got crazy genetics.
Sasan Harati. He's another. There's some incredible athletes here, but they just haven't been as active as I'd like.
Yeah. Do any of you guys ever get together to collab or train together or do something?
Yeah, like there's a few of the guys like Jamie the Giant, Joe Howe, you might have heard of.
Yes, I met Jamie at the Arnold.
Yeah, Jamie's great. Like we actually play online a lot of gaming together. We don't train so much, but we go online and play some games and stuff. There's another pro, Kuba. I've been to Kuba's gym a few times. Mark, some of the guys come down to our gym every now and then just for a trip. So we do kind of keep in touch. Like we're all very, very respectful of each other and friends online.
Awesome.
But we all live quite far apart. So therefore we don't get to see each other much.
I'll make it happen. I have a great idea. And I'm going to put another round table together with all three of you guys.
That would be very cool.
Samson, and Nathan. And if we can,
like that.
If we can we get 5 on the? Because then we can add Hector. I'm just talking to my producer right now.
Yeah, no, that's cool. That's cool.
I love the round table, man, because we have great discussions. You know what I mean? Great talks. We could do that. We could do it. I'm gonna put that together with the British guys for sure.
Man, we're definitely up for that. My suggestion would be, if you can get 5, Jamie, Nathan, Mark, Samson, and me.
Yeah, I got to get myself in too. I got to get myself in too.
Okay, so then, Jamie, sorry, mate.
Well, no. We'll find out. If maybe we could do 6. I don't know. We'll find out because my producer is good. He figures stuff out. He puts it together.
Sounds good. I like the sound of that.
But anyway, let's talk about. Did you follow the Arnold Classic South America?
Yes, I did.
What did you think?
I saw what happened with Cebu, whatever his name was. Sorry, I don't know.
Yeah, what was that about, man?
It's clearly not his fault because you don't want to miss the show. I'm a bit confused. I think it's more his coach from what I've seen. I'm not going to listen. I don't know the guy. I'm not going to call him out, but I feel like the coach might have miscommunicated things.
At the end of the day, It's always the athlete. I know. I found why if the coach miscommunicated, why would I listen to my coach?
I don't know why.
When it comes to what time you have to be backstage where he can't go anyways.
Why I suppose I'm trying to say is I haven't even heard Cebu speak.
Yeah,
he seems very much the guy that his coach is taking him around, almost like Ubering him around and showing him where to go and what to do.
I think so, you know what I think, because I went through this before, and I remember in Brazil the traffic is crazy.
Yeah,
everywhere you go, and this happened to Cedric a couple of years ago. Cedric came late; he didn't make it. I think I don't know, was it the show or was it the meeting? He was late because he got stuck in traffic. So maybe that's what happened. What did you hear? What was the reason?
I've only seen, like, sitting on Google and having a little look. I've just seen that they were apparently handed some miscommunicating flyers that had only the evening show times on there, so they didn't know the prejudging time. That's the only thing I've seen. But I still would be very confused as a pro when I know that shows are split in two pretty much all the time. So
wasn't he
I heard it was just that.
Right. Wasn't he at the meeting though the day before?
Yeah.
So how come
I'm confused?
Listen,
I don't know.
Listen, you can be confused. I'm confused. I don't understand one thing. There was 13, 14 athletes. Everybody made it. He's the only one. So where's the miscommunication?
Mate, listen, if I'm confused, like when I'm at the Olympia or anything like that, I'll just message one of the guys I'm competing against.
Right.
Like, I'm sorry, hey bro, like, do you mind? I'll say, look, I'm bloody useless. I don't know where we got to be. And they always help. They always help.
Right.
I heard that they didn't have a SIM card for the country. So therefore, when they actually got here, they had no internet at all. So I don't know if that was a big...
I'm just trying to wrap my head around it. That's like you train for months and months. And he looked good.
And you could have done very well.
Yes. And then you fly there. It's coming out of your pocket. You fly there, spend all this money, then you get the guest pose.
It's not good, is it? It's not good. Oh, bless. I felt sorry for him, but again, it's like, because I don't know the situation. I can only feel so much sorrow because I don't know. You've got to work shit out yourself, man. Like, come on.
I felt bad for him because at the end
I did, because he looked good, man, and he's an upcomer, and I think that was his debut, wasn't it, as a pro?
Was it?
It was meant to be, I think.
Yeah. So he's going to have his debut some other day.
Yeah, God bless.
What did you think about the show overall, though? If you look at the competitors,
some really good condition on the top three. The two, I don't know, is it Boff? I don't know the guy that got second.
I know the bald-headed guy.
He was peeled out of his mind.
I almost thought that he was in the run for first. I thought that he was pushing Rafael.
He was in the best shape, but what he lacked in structure, Raf had. Raf's got one of the most, I suppose, aesthetically pleasing open bodybuilder structures that you can have. So to beat him, you have to beat him by quite a margin when it comes to muscularity and condition. I just think structurally, unfortunately, for the second and third place, they just couldn't stand toe-to-toe with the shape of Raf. And obviously, shows, they judge sometimes a little bit differently at certain shows. At another show, they might have given it to the other guy. But at this show, Raf had the look they were after, and you can't argue why he won, because, again, he had arguably the most pleasing physique on the stage in good condition.
Oh, yeah, his shape is unbelievable.
Yeah, not the best condition, I'll say, but still very good.
Yeah, and he was the home favorite going into the show, and the crowd.
Oh, he's loved. He's loved. Like, when I competed with Raf in a couple of times, any picture I've ever shared with me and Raf, the Brazilians are in the comments, like, Raf, like, they love him, and fair. And I like that. It's actually nice to see a country that gets behind their bodybuilders to that degree, because we don't get that here.
Yeah, why does that happen in England the same way?
I don't know. Like, we get quite a lot of support, but the Brazilians treat it like it's like football, like soccer.
They like the Iranians. If you say something about their guys, or you get it online.
Oh yeah, if you, I know Ian got himself in some stick once, and I think he's not heard that. I don't think he's heard the end of it yet. But I'm always, when I speak about any of the Brazilian bodybuilders, I'm always very
aware.
Very polite.
Yeah. Because these guys, it's like the Iranians. Don't say nothing about Hardy.
No, man.
Yeah, you'll start a war.
Yeah. We've seen some wars there.
That's crazy. Where can Rafael place in the Olympia? What do you think?
It's hard, because I was looking at him and I was like wondering what he's done like since the last show, and I would have liked to have seen him either bigger or harder than the previous show, but I felt like he was not that. I feel like he was kind of the same Rafa, which is still amazing, but I don't know if that's going to get into the top 10 at Olympia looking like that. I think he'll have to be a lot harder or bigger in that kind of condition he was at this show so that he takes up more space.
Yeah.
It's a tough one. Something's got to change. It's either got to be peeled out of his mind or, like I say, more muscle.
Yeah. I agree with you there because I think he has everything. His future is bright. He's really young. He's really young. He's going to be content for the Olympia one day.
Yeah, I agree. Him,
so
like I say, I look at him, I look at Samson, guys like that, and I'm like, yeah, that's the cream of the crop in the next few years.
How old is Samson?
He's a bit older. He's probably about 36, I think. But,
okay. But then again,
like Dexter went. Black don't crack. Dexter went till 50. You know how it goes.
True. You can't. Yeah, it's like a black guy.
It's very different when you look at like a Caucasian guy who's pushing 40.
Yeah,
you're like, yeah, he's kind of at the end.
A black guy 36 is like a 28-year-old white guy. Yeah. But hey, listen, and these guys are the future, you know. And I've been saying this, you know, and you put Nick in the same category. Nick Hunter. How old are you?
I'm 33 now.
So you're still young. That's considered young in bodybuilding.
Yeah, I feel like I'm relatively young. And I feel at a good age.
Yeah. You're just coming into your prime now. You'll see.
Good.
You got about 6 to 7 years. You got about 6 to 7 years where you can make improvements now, where you can actually show the true James Hollingshead. And I really can't wait for you to come in the way you really want to come in and the way you know you can.
Yeah,
you know, because this is the worst when you know what you can look like. Yeah. You see yourself at certain, you know, if it's 4 weeks out, 6 weeks out, 2 weeks out, you know what you look like. And then you get on stage and you're like, I can't believe it. Because you wanted the people to see what you saw.
I want nothing more than to give the people that support me the best of me, you know?
Yeah.
So it's a very frustrating thing when you present something and they still have to keep their chin up for you because the true supporters, no matter how you come in, they're still going to support you. But it still kind of hurts. You still want to be able to say, look, did I do us proud? Because, you know, my bodybuilding, I've always said this, as much as it is for me, it's also for the people to support me because, like, I can't do something without reason, like I said to you earlier. So, yeah, it's a tough one sometimes.
I want to ask you this because is England, the shows are back to where it was? They got plenty more shows?
Yeah. Everything's normal here now. We got, like, the NPCs kind of running quite a few shows over here now in regards to like pro qualifiers and stuff. They're literally very frequent almost now.
So so are you guys going to be doing a lot of guest posings and stuff? Because I remember back in the days, there was no show without a guest poser.
I know, when I was coming up, every regional or every show to qualify for the finals was a guest star. Every show.
Yeah. So as a promoter in England, if I see your shape or Samson's, you guys be guest posing. You should be guest posing every week.
Yeah. So they do offer, and people do it. The only reason I haven't done one yet is just, I don't know, I haven't actually discussed it with anyone. But my friend Kuba, who has a show, did ask me if I want to, but I believe that I'm not in the country at the time of him asking.
Oh, okay.
So, but I'm sure that Samson's done a couple. Obviously, so they are starting to reintroduce those guest posings again, which is really important for us to do because it's our support for the NPC, the IFBB, but then it's also good for our own platform and gets us known. So it's a mutual thing, you know.
Yeah, and it's also good here. You got to make a little bit of money off the sport. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's the hard bit. I don't know if the posing's the same as when it used to be because I don't know who pays now for the posing. So I've only ever done one guest spot, and that was from Amph Bales, who's a fellow pro.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah, so Amph paid me to do a guest spot.
Right, that's the way it is. You're a pro.
Yeah, so I suppose it's down to then the promoter of the show to pay the pro.
Right.
I don't know. So what I'm trying to say is I don't know if these shows pay pros to guest pose or want them to guest pose because it's a way of supporting the IFBB. If that makes sense.
No. If you bring a guest poser, you pay the guest poser. That's how you sell tickets.
Dennis has said it.
It's been like this since I know bodybuilding.
Cool.
You guest pose. I mean, I've done favors. you know?
Yeah, of course.
But
yeah.
usually you guest pose because you get paid. They hire you to guest pose, especially when you're in shape. Back in my days, look at guys like Jay Cutler who always stayed in decent shape off season. He guest posts every week.
Yeah,
you know?
He made a lot of his money. He said, and I remember him saying he's getting like, multiple thousands of dollars in his heyday.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you guest pose anyway. Let's say $5,000 a guest appearance.
Yeah. We need to get back on that then. I feel like it's good that we've had this conversation because where everything's changed hands over here, like the IFBB have now reached out and got different promoters than they used to have. They split with the previous federation. Now it's good that we can clarify going forward. Maybe these are things that need to be spoken about more. So for us pros to have more incentives to support the federation back and make the shows more exciting again, because it does make the shows exciting. Because I remember I used to sit there and normally like your friend would come off stage and you'd go home because you're like, oh, show's done. But when there was a guest star, you're like, let's wait around for the guest star.
Exactly. Yeah,
So,
it sells tickets.
It keeps bums on seats. It keeps the bums on seats. As we say.
Exactly. That's the way I see it, and I'd like to see that. I have guest stars at my shows.
Yeah.
Maybe not at the show in here in Arizona, but at the pro qualifier in Germany, you want to give the audience something to look forward to, other than the athletes. I mean, a lot of people go because they're supporting one of the athletes, whoever it is.
You diet down, train hard, and supplement smart for months. When the time comes to step on stage, don't leave your tan to chance. Go with the pros. Pro Tan. #1 worldwide since 1987 and the official sponsor of the Olympia for the last 15 years. Don't step on stage without it. Pro Tan.
But then if you get someone to guest pose, and someone that looks apart, because a lot of people guest pose and they shouldn't even be on stage.
Oh, we've seen a few of them over the last
year. So, and therefore, but if somebody like you, that brings me to a good idea. What are you doing in October 29th?
October, I'll be in shape. I'll be in shape October.
I know you'll be in shape October 29th. So maybe I can bring you to Germany to guest pose at my show.
I'd love to come to Germany because I actually haven't been there. So
yeah,
that'd be
no, and I got a good show. I mean, every year you have the show, we sell out. 2,000 seats. I sell 3,200, 1,200 pre-judging, 2,000 at the night show. Really great atmosphere. I don't know if I had Luke Sandow there.
Oh, did you have him there for one of
Yeah, but who brought Luke? Some sponsor brought Luke.
Was he like Iron Rebel?
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Iron Rebel.
Yeah, I remember Luke was quite busy with them for a while doing some stuff. Yeah.
Yes. We had Luke. Who else was there? Who else came with Luke? There was somebody else. Who was with Luke? Who was with them at the same time?
Iron Rebel had a few people because you had again, I can only rattle off
was
names.
Nathan? Oh, see,
Nathan was with Iron Rebel.
Yeah, I think Nathan was there too.
Yeah, that'd make sense.
I had them both there. Yeah,
that's what you want. That's what makes the shows, man.
Ask Nathan how my show is in Germany, and you'll see. You'll be guest posing. You'll be guest posing with an Olympia atmosphere.
Okay, I like
the crowd wise. The crowd in Germany.
Yeah.
This is to all my Germans.
The Germans are proper bodybuilding fans. They love it.
Absolutely.
And that's what I like.
Absolutely. But that'll be a good idea to have you come over.
It's very possible if you're up for it, mate.
Absolutely, because it's a short flight, and
very easy for me.
That way we can have maybe you and Rami stand next to each other, get a Mr. Olympia preview.
That would be really cool.
Yeah.
That would be really cool. Like Rami's a gentleman. I'd love to stand next to Rami. He's a great guy.
I'm going to work on that. He's coming. He's coming this week.
Oh, brilliant.
We're going to Pittsburgh this weekend.
Oh, yeah, that's all this week, isn't it? Yeah, that'd be cool.
Pittsburgh, bro. Yeah, we're going to see all the guys guest pose.
Because that's what they do at the Pittsburgh, isn't it?
Every year.
They literally line up. I remember the year that you had, I think you had Rami.
It's usually top 6.
Yeah, you had like some really good, it's basically like.
That's a preview.
It's the creme de la creme. It's the top boys.
Jim brings the top 6 usually. He brings the top 6 to guest pose in Pittsburgh. And everybody goes. That's a show you do not want to miss. And it's going to be a good one this week because, we get Brandon, Rami, and Nick, all these guys step on stage.
It's really cool with like the Brandon and Rami thing as well, because obviously they're kind of like two boxers in a sense, back and forth. And Rami's obviously secured the second Olympia. Brandon's hungry to come back. It's a story in itself.
Yeah.
It creates such a good amount of it's a positive tension in bodybuilding. It makes it a sport. It makes it fun.
Yeah, and I miss it sometimes. And I mean, good, we had COVID. COVID shut down a lot of stuff, but I think it needs to get back together where people, where we see guys on stage, not only in contest shape but also in off season, to see if they're making progress, to see if they take their off season serious. And it seems to be. I mean, you can see Nick Walker is taking it really, really serious.
That guy doesn't miss a beat. Doesn't miss a beat, Dennis. He's like, I think he's one of the most regimented people. He must be. Like, I know Nick personally, but not like super personally.
It's funny, like that you mentioned that. Go ahead, tell me what you want to say, because
I was just gonna say, like, I just feel like he's very much, the way that he represents bodybuilding. He is the ideal bodybuilder. I don't think he misses a beat. I don't think he misses a meal. I don't think he misses a cardio session. I think like he's truly devoted himself to this, and because he wants one thing. And you know what he wants? He wants the Olympia.
He wants to win the Olympia.
He wants to win the Olympia, and he's fighting for it. So,
And it's funny. It's funny that you can actually, by not even if you don't know him personally, you can feel it and sense it and see it in his videos and his posts that he is just the way you just explained it. When you see it once or twice, you think, yeah, he might be doing this because of the camera.
Yeah.
But it comes across, he comes across as super legit with everything he does. This is not for the camera. The camera is there for a reason, because he wants his fans involved. He wants his fans to see what he's up to, But I don't believe for 1 second that he's just doing what he's doing because of the camera. I think he has a plan.
No, that's a young man with big aspirations.
Yeah.
He wants to be at the top of his game. He's done what majority have never done. First year it is his first year really as a pro, because he won his pro card the year before and done a show. I wouldn't include that. The first year really as a rookie.
Last year,
he wins two pro shows. One being the New York, which is huge. One being the Arnold, which is even bigger. And then going on to be fifth and could have possibly placed higher at the Olympia. Crazy.
Yeah, it is.
Crazy.
It is. And it's good to see that hard work pays off. That's a perfect example right there.
And I think that's a good thing for us as well, the people that are still active, or not even still active, to be fair, because it's good for all aspects of life, but especially for us that are still active, seeing that the hard work is being rewarded, because then you're happy to work hard.
Exactly.
That's what's important. That's why I get in the gym.
You too.
I get under the weight, and I do what I got to do, because I know he is.
And you too come across as legit someone who busts his ass in the gym and who takes his job, which is our job. Bodybuilding is their job. You take it very serious, and it comes across. You don't even have to speak for me to understand. Your personality comes out when I see you train and when I see the things you do. I can actually detect your personality without you saying a single word.
I appreciate that. That's because it's like I say, it's not forced. It's just you are who you are, and I am very much. This is very much me. I have my downtime, of course. I come home, I finish training, and I might jump online and play a few games with a few friends. But that's all part of my process of recovery. My meals are here, my drinks are ready, everything's ready. As long as I'm still in the evening and I'm peaceful, it's all going to contribute towards the bodybuilding. And ultimately, every decision I make currently in my life, and has been for the last probably 15 years or so, has been steered towards progressing in this.
Yeah. Do you ever deal with any injuries?
Nothing major. Nothing major, thank God. Only like a few niggles here and there.
Knock on wood.
Yeah, knock on wood.
So you're still 33. You're still young, so you still don't have what I went through, because I started late. I started training at 26. I turned pro at 32, and I didn't stop feeling this until I was like 40, where you're still strong. I was still strong, but every time I went, because you see people getting injured here, people tear this and tear that. And I get under the bar, and I'm like, please, God, don't let nothing happen. Once you get to that point, things started to slow down, because now you're scared. You're 33, so you're not scared yet. You still use this heavy weight. Until
it's weird. I feel like that depends who I'm around as well, like the environment. I'm only truly comfortable in my own gym, and I'm only truly comfortable around a small few people where I feel confident.
Mm-hmm.
So if I was to if I was to go on tour and train in gyms around the world, I wouldn't train like I do in other gyms.
Okay.
Not quite the same. I wouldn't push it as much as I do here.
Yeah. So you're not worried. So you're not worried at all.
No. Like
But do you think? Go ahead. Finish.
So I was just gonna say, I only go with how I feel on the day, and many times the workouts you don't see, I do hold back. Mm-hmm. Like I don't always go crazy. Some days I will only put, some days I will only put 5 plates on the bar or something, and just do it very differently. Like,
only. The way you just said that. Some days I just put 5 plates on the bar. 5 plates.
We've got to do 5 nowadays because you've got Chris Bumstead doing 5. So I'm like, Jesus, I've got Chris doing 5 and he's classic. I better keep working, because you've got these boys really working hard in the other classes. I'm like, we're meant to be open. We got to do something a bit more,
It's funny because last week the round table, the old school round table I had, we just talked about this when it comes to heavyweight. When we look at the guys today, those older guys with all the injuries, and that's why I'm thinking. I'm asking myself: Is he worried when he listens to what these older people say, or does it affect you seeing, let's say, Ronnie with all the shit he had to go through, and he was super strong, training super heavy? Because in the end of the day, and this is all the older guys, they all believe you will pay.
Oh, yeah. Do you know what? Like, this ain't me being an arsehole or nothing like that. I feel like Ronnie's injuries occurred because of form. Like, I'm not trying to take anything away from him. He was very explosive, incredibly strong. Yeah, of course. But I do think he overstepped the mark on the weight with the form he had. I think if his form was a little bit more tight, some of the injuries that occurred might not have occurred. That's just my opinion. So if I lift the weight and the form's out the window, I'll drop the fucker on the floor and I'll say I'm not doing this. Like, I wouldn't even try. So I always work within a certain kind of performance. If something looks a certain way, I'll stay there. If it is too much and if it looks awful, I won't even attempt it. So I think a lot of people make the mistake of get it up no matter what cost. And I don't blame him. He had a lot of eyes on him. He was Mr. Olympia and he had to do something, when the whole world's watching you, what do you do? Like, you want to impress them. You do. It's normal. It's bad enough with Instagram now. We got a few thousand people watching us and we still want to impress them. So I totally understand why he did what he did, but I do think form is a very large component to injury. So I try to avoid going outside of my own form.
What's your normal rep range?
Probably on the squat, probably like 8 to 12.
So you still moderate. So you still, So you're not doing like the 2 to 4, 4 to 6.
No. Very rarely. Like, listen, once in a blue moon, I might test my strength, but I'll never test it with a single. I'll test it with like a treble or a double. A weight that I can lift multiple times. I never test my strength with a weight I can only lift once.
Yeah. We're not power lifters, so you know.
No, exactly, and I think it's asking for trouble.
Yeah. Huh. So I asked you the question before, but I didn't really. What's the goal? What's James's ultimate goal for this year and the future?
Do you know what? Like, I won't lie to you. Like last year knocked me a lot, and I would have told you my goal last year.
Redemption.
Yeah, so that's why, like, I can't even look beyond that word right now. Yeah. The one word that is always floating across my eyes and my mind is redemption, and I don't know what that is.
Do you think winning the UK show to qualify for the Olympia is redemption?
No. I think placing top 6 at an Olympia is redemption.
Okay.
I don't know. I feel like a look is redemption. Like, if I look a certain way that blows my mind, not that it probably ever will, but if I have a certain look that I'm proud of.
Come on, you got to look in the mirror sometimes when you're nice and pumped and tell yourself, fuck, I can't believe I can look like this.
The only time I like how I look is after I have sex. I'm not going to lie.
All right, yeah, that's even better.
The sex pump. The sex pump is the only pump that everything looks good.
Add a Viagra to that next time and see what the pump does to you.
Yeah.
This is all for all the listeners out there. If you want to get a real pump, throw a Viagra in before you hit it.
Honestly, a little Cialis, a little bit of that. But I think redemption, Dennis, is the word in my mind. And again, it's really hard to picture what that is because I don't know what it is yet because I know I haven't been there yet.
Yeah.
So I want to be the best British bodybuilder for sure. Like I want to be better than my peers. Like I love the guys, but I want to be the number one. And I want to be like, I just want to be considered, like, I don't know why I do care what people think. I want to be considered as one of the realists. That's the most important thing to me.
Yeah. You're doing a good job already.
Yeah. Whether I win or not, as long as people look and go, that guy like trains hard.
Yeah.
Is devoted, represents the bodybuilding like truly and is passionate, then I feel like my job's being done.
Yeah. And you know what? You're on the right track because whatever you're doing right now is exactly what you just mentioned.
Thank you.
You come across as real. You are real for the people that don't know you personally. If you would see this guy in person, he's exactly the way he portrays himself. And that's a good thing. And that's why I know you will go far too, because there's just no denying it. And that all you got to do is just to put it all together.
Yeah.
And once you put it all together, there are going to be a lot of people in trouble.
Yeah. That's how I feel that deep inside.
Yeah.
We're going to work for that. That's what this year's, there's a lot of work ahead, but I'm really excited to get to work and lock in a date for a show and actually present.
Awesome.
Really, really excited to do that.
I still think you should come to do the Tampa Pro, just a U.S. show, because you can redeem yourself right there already.
Send Patrick a message. Send him a DM.
I will too. I will.
Email him right now or DM him and just say, look, I think that this would be a really good move.
Yeah.
Just give me a little bit of,
I'm sure he will watch this when he sees you on. Yeah, because this would solidify you again, by winning the U.S. show, which you absolutely can. And I'm sure there are going to be 2-3 guys on that stage that are also Olympians. That will be a little redemption before the big redemption at the Olympia.
Yeah. All right.
I'm looking forward.
I'm going to get on my phone later tonight. And I'm literally going to message Pat and say, I think we should really lock in for that show. Yeah,
I really believe that would. Because can you imagine winning the Tampa before you go to the UK? What that will do to your motivational? It will. Yeah, it'll be over the top.
Listen, we've seen Tampa. We've seen what people have won that. We've seen Derek Lunsford win Tampa and go on to play second at the Olympia. We've seen, Ian win Tampa. We've seen Alex a few years ago win Tampa.
Hunter
Labrada win Tampa. Like, no one comes out of Tampa and does poorly.
Yeah.
If you can win that show, you're winning one of the best shows on the planet.
True.
So
I'm looking forward to it, brother. I appreciate your time, my man. I know you probably got to eat right now.
I did eat just before, don't worry.
Okay.
But I do appreciate you, man.
And thank you, man. And listen, I'm serious about this British Superstar Roundtable. I will put that together. I will send you guys some messages and get you guys on a roundtable podcast, because I think
we'd be so up for that.
It'll be so fun, and I already know, especially with Nathan, because I can't understand it. Because you could translate it.
I'll translate it. I can make it out. It's okay.
Thank you, my brother, man. I appreciate your time, man, and it was good to have you on here, and I can't wait to see you again, my man.
Thank you, man. Have a blessed day.
You too, brother. Take care. Good night.
Bye, buddy.